Welcome to the Miller Time Bowl in Davenport, Iowa for the third stop on the Professional Women's Bowling Association Spring Tour. Hello, everyone. I'm Leandra Riley, and there is growth and lots of it in the WIBC Queens. This is the 38th annual Queens event, and this is the second major of 1998. And we have some newcomers and fresh faces who have survived a field of 410 bowlers to make it to the stepladder finals. And joining me now is the 1993 WIBC Queens champion, Jan Schmidt. And Jan, we have some women who have never been on TV before in a singles format.
That's true, and that would be in our number 5 spot, Tennelle Grijalva, in the number 3 position, Karen Stroud. Now, both of these players do have TV experience. However, it's in the team environment where they have someone to help motivate them, help them line up. I think they're going to find it a lot different today out there all on their own. So the key for them is going to be to handle the nerves and try and self-motivate.
All right, we have some veterans, and I use that term very loosely, veterans of television bowling. And our number 4 position is Lisa Bishop, and our number 2 position, Kendra Cameron.
And it does seem odd to call them veterans. With the most professional experience out here is Lisa Bishop. She's our reigning Ebonite Rookie of the Year. She does have 1 title. Kendra Cameron, however, has 3 shows this year out of 9 events. So in terms of confidence, I believe that she probably is at the top of the list today.
All right, but our top qualifier at that list today is Lynda Norry, and she is a very experienced bowler, but in the team competition.
She is. She has, while she's not a professional, she has 7 years on Team USA. She's won a national amateur championship. She's bowled all over the world, and it's her 2nd Queens television appearance, so she has the most experience of our field.
Well, the bowlers are ready to compete. The audience is ready to watch, and I'm sure you're ready to see who's going to be the 1998 WIBC Queens champion. So let's begin. It's Tennelle Grijalva and Lisa Bishop. And our bowlers have done the traditional handshake to start the match. We are on lanes 19 and 20. You are looking at Tennelle Grijalva. Look at that, just 21 years of age, out of Orange, California.
And it's her first Queens tournament, and she makes the telecast.
And a lovely way to start. So, with that first ball underway, we now step over to look at Lisa Bishop, who is 27 years old, from Belleville, Michigan. As we said, she is a second-year pro, the reigning Rookie of the Year.
She is the Ebonite Rookie of the Year, and she is having, though, a little bit of a sophomore jinx. She made the first 2 cuts out, hasn't made a cut since then until this show, so she's very happy to be on this telecast.
10-pin stays up, so she has her work cut out for her in the opening frame.
Well, one of Lisa's keys is ball speed. She throws very hard. Sometimes does not get enough rotation for the speed on her ball, so she is trying to slow down a bit. She's also put a new wristband on to try and get a little more turn or rotation on the ball.
And she easily converts. Something I'd like to bring up at this point, as I said in the beginning of the telecast, 410 bowlers. This is a grueling format, the Queens. They start off with bowling, and then you have to qualify, and it's a match play, and you just really have to be on when you're up against a tough opponent.
Right. It's a long week, and first we bowl the Nationals, which is team doubles and singles, which is a separate event. Then we come on and bowl the qualifying for the Queens, which is 2 days, 5 games each day, total pins. And the top 63 plus the defending champion,
Sandra Jo Shirey, as she strikes on 19. Sandra Jo Shirey is the defending champion.
Right. They move on to the match play finals, which is double elimination, 3-game matches, total pins for the 3 games. And it's just a bracket system, and you move on. You don't know who you're going to draw. It just happens, you run through the brackets, and whoever you meet is who you have to beat. If you lose, you go into the contenders bracket.
So working on a strike in the lane 19, she moves over to 20. Tennelle Grijalva does.
Now, Tennelle, she held up pretty well under this pressure. She came out yesterday, though, the first match, and shot 454, like 124 game, her first game. And she really had to regroup and get her thoughts together. She feels her strong point in her game is her mental game. And she's very good at calming herself down and regrouping. I think she needed that yesterday, and she's going to need it today out there. She has a 5-step approach, holds the ball about waist high here. She's going to get the ball pushing on her 2nd step right here. Pretty high backswing, about head high, a little over, generates some speed, and a strong release, very consistent release, I noticed. Watch the arm snap through. She creates quite a few revolutions on the ball, and she's able to slide it through the heads, or the front part of the lane. It was very successful on the condition we bowled on this week.
On the spare in the second frame, Tennelle Grijalva leaves the 4. Interestingly, when we spoke with her, she said she doesn't want to go pro. She would like to bowl on Team USA in 1999.
She would, and she's, you know, she's young. She doesn't feel she's ready, personally, to go out and be a professional and be on tour for months at a time.
So, Davenport, Iowa is named after its founder, Colonel George Davenport, who served in the War of 1812. It is also the home of the Rock Island Arsenal. We'll be back with more after this. Wide, the largest owners and operators of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by Dexter, the most advanced bowling shoes to ever step on a lane. Dexter, the choice of the pros. You are looking at Lisa Bishop of Belleville, Michigan. As you can see, she leads by 1. This is the third frame. She had a spare and a strike to open this first match of the WIBC Queens.
Lisa playing an outside line there, and it's a little bit different from what you see Tennelle playing. Most of the players played in between the 3rd, 4th, even 5th arrow most of the week, but Lisa yesterday moved farther right. Some of the other players did, and they found it to be more successful as the week went on.
Rather be lucky than good.
Good break there. Tripping that 4th pin, and she's off to a great start. This ball's going to drive a little bit hard. She's playing real direct, straight up and at him. Look at the head pin off the wall. Kicked out the 7 and then tripped the 4.
And made her happy. This is Tennelle Grijalva's shot on lane 20 in the 4th frame. Tennelle just turned 21, and we asked her, Tennelle, what did you get for your 21st birthday? And she told us.
And I don't know, it was something I wanted to do. I thought it would kind of look cool, and my boyfriend's brother and sister-in-law have it, and they did it for me.
Let's see it.
It's, I don't know, I guess it kind of keeps me in
It keeps
I don't feel it.
It keeps her in focus. If she feels it, she knows she's not
Keeps her
lined
in
up
time.
right.
Yeah, in time. She said if she feels it, she's out of time. So it must be a thing of, you know, she may move her tongue like a lot of athletes do as they compete. And if she feels it, she knows she's not in proper timing.
All right, Jen, I've got to ask you. In light of that bowling tip, would you pierce your tongue to improve your score?
No.
You didn't hesitate on that. Well,
but then I'm not 21.
Yeah, I was saying tongue piercing isn't for everyone. Lisa Bishop, who does not have her tongue pierced, is now up on lane 20 in the 5th frame. She's working on a triple.
Where Lisa's able to play the lanes right now is very conducive to her game. She likes to play like that, straight up the boards. She's had to open up a little more earlier in the week and wasn't as comfortable. She's stopping for a minute there. And something distracted her.
And she's looks like she's either getting tape or
rosin. Additional rosin drying her hand. It's a little bit warm out there. And if you don't get the right feel, it's tough. In fact,
you know, this is where being a veteran. And you know, we joke that she's only a second-year veteran, but she's been on TV. She knows the heat of the lights, and she knows she can step down and readjust.
Exactly. That's a good point. She leaves kind of a half 10. Didn't quite catch that one. I was going to mention that, in fact, the particular grips that she uses, they sometimes sweat a bit. And if it's really warm, they actually, because they have silicone in them, they get damp inside. So it's hard to get a good feel sometimes.
This is the second time she has left the 10. Oh, and it jumped off a little too soon. So an open frame for her coming off the triple in the 5th.
That was just a bad shot. And you see it, see how it off her hand to the right all the way. Didn't have it on line from the beginning. I think, you know, obviously maybe she thought it would hook just a little bit at the back end of the lane, but she knew it. You could tell she knew it when she put it down.
And it's funny, it kind of took the thunder out of the crowd. They were very tentative just now with their applause. And she came through, and that's what you want to do when you miss. So we are going to step aside here. It's very, very close in our opening match of the WIBC Queens. But first, I guess we're going to let Tennelle Grijalva take this shot. And she leaves herself a split and a lot of trouble.
And bad shot, pulled that inside of target. She is actually playing the same hook break point as Lisa, but going to it in a different way. She's opening up to it. She missed that left, and it hooked, jumped on the nose.
And she goes for a pin count in the 6th frame, where she has a 105, an open frame, moving over to lane 19. And I should add that she is wearing a microphone, so you will hear her critiquing herself, as it were. There you see the numbers.
And though she's only 21, she's been bowling a long time, Leandra. Started at age 3. Just rolling the ball with 2 hands down the middle of the lane.
Oh, and gets it. That was great. That was really great. 19 is good for her. Now we're going to step aside, and it's an opportunity to look at the Centennial Bridge, which was completed in 1946. It connects Illinois and Iowa, thus creating the Quad Cities area.
This is my club, 24.
We're back with the last shot from Tennelle. Look at this going out to about the 10th board. It's going to come back real hard. Watch the head pin off the wall. Looked like maybe in the 5-pin. Something came back off the back wall. Tripped the 4-pin forward. An unusual carry.
Now Lisa Bishop, who leads by 22, is up on lane 20 on the right side. Clears the deck. She has a double.
She has a real good shot to the pocket, and we'll see probably Lynda Norry playing that same area of the lane. They both should have an equally good shot. Lisa has a 5-step approach, but I want you to watch her backswing. She's very, very high, generates all of her velocity right here, way over the top of her head. Now watch her push through. Look at that power. She doesn't have the revolution some of the other players have, but she knocks it down with speed. Both things will knock bowling pins down.
And the Rookie of the Year shows no signs of a sophomore jinx. Another triple for Lisa Bishop in this opening match.
Carry to Brooklyn there. A little bit fortunate, but...
No. The best she can do, her maximum score would be 225. That being Tennelle Grijalva.
Right.
Again, the 10 causes a problem on lane 20.
Well, she's getting to the pocket now, and I expected it to take a little time for her to settle in. She had that great opening shot, but sometimes what that does is get your adrenaline going, and you need to calm it back down. I know she had trouble after she knew she made the show. She didn't, you know, it was tough for her to calm back down.
Now at Orange County High School, she played basketball, and she was the first girl on the varsity golf team. Her influences and coaches would include Mark Baker, Barry Asher, and her boyfriend Jason Milligan, who just bought his regional card. She did bowl at Samstown, finished 15th. Bowled doubles with Kelly Morrow.
297 this week, and that was a part of the highest series bowled, 758. Well, she set one up. She needed to do that. Best she can shoot now is 205.
Lisa Bishop, 257. But she'd have to punch out.
She really just needs some marks here.
Yeah. Up in the 8th, and here come the marks. That's 4 in a row.
that's enough. She'll just need pin count, and this is how she's done all the rest, right up about the 6th to 8th board in that vicinity. Ball driving into the pocket. Ooh. She knew that was it.
I think she knew she could have done less, but she said, hey, I'm going to get this over with now. And she now has 5 in a row. So it is a little out of reach for Tennelle Grijalva this day, but 21 years old. What a bright future this woman has.
Well, she's pretty lined up here.
Too high on the head pin there.
Just trying to hear what she was saying there. She pulled that left to target. I don't know if she was experimenting to see how much room she had. But she does know she can't pull it too far because she went Brooklyn on the one shot on that lane.
And again, it is experience that prevails. So Lisa Bishop climbs the ladder. She will take on Karen Stroud as the WIBC Queens continue. Tennelle Grijalva and now faces Karen Stroud, a 24-year-old from Canyon, Texas. She is originally from Victoria, but has since moved to Canyon. And that's a nice way to start things out.
And there's a different angle into the pocket. She's deeper inside, much deeper, playing closer to that 4th arrow.
And there you see the numbers, 244 to 205 for Lisa Bishop to climb up the step ladder, qualifying 4th. She now faces number 3 qualifier, Karen Stroud.
Okay, we heard her say stay out. She meant don't hook enough to leave a washout. She wanted the ball to stay right so that it would deflect and the 6 would take out the 10. She missed right with this shot badly. Still sliding right out to about the 3rd arrow. She just wanted that 6 pin to take the 10 out so she has a pickable spare. It's interesting because Lisa told us last night she got caught in between yesterday. The middles were hooking. The right, when she moved right, there was too much conditioner. So she drilled some balls for today so that she could move right. Because she said when she gets in, it's harder for her to get the ball to hit. So she moved right. She appears to have made the right choice. That was just a bad shot.
No problem picking off the 1, 2, 4. And if you hear a little bit of rattling, Lisa Bishop is wearing a necklace that is kind of hitting her microphone.
She wanted to thank, as we look at her stats here for the first game, 5 strikes on 19, 3 on 20. A little bit more trouble on lane 20. She seems to be lined up on lane 19. As I say, she's lined up on 19.
Yeah,
she hits the nose. However, she did go Brooklyn for one of the strikes on 19. She knows if she misses left like that, left to target, she's going to go on the nose. There's not that much hold there. And that was a direct result, in my opinion, from her missing right on lane 20. She didn't want to send one out there. She tried to keep it tight.
Right. Oh, you know, kicked it over there. Just missed by fractions, getting the spare.
This was a good shot at it. Look at the 6 pin.
Look at that. It just went behind it.
A little bit too much angle.
Karen Stroud is a substitute teacher in math and physical education. Actually whispered, be aggressive. Aggressive. And she is. She's got a double going for her.
Well, she's not having trouble with the nerves. She's got a 5-step approach. Now, she opens up a little bit and breaks her wrist at the top. See how she cups it, then it went straight.
Flares, yeah.
Right. A lot of play in that wrist there that can lead to some inconsistency, but not today. This result looks the same as the last one. Flush in the hole. She looks good. She gets a lot of turn on the ball. It's just occasionally she'll get a little inconsistent with the release because of that play in the wrist.
So the 10 remains off the double.
Lane 19 looks a little bit tighter for her in there. The ball's not reacting quite as hard. She's going to change balls here to shoot her spare. One that's not going to hook for her. It's the easiest way to shoot a spare. Especially the 10-pin.
It broke away at the end there. I wasn't quite sure till it fell over. Now Lisa Bishop was unable to convert the 6-7-10 split. That 1997 Terre Haute win was pretty dramatic. It was her first event.
It was. First event as a professional, and boom. Just like that.
All right, she seems to have settled down. Spare, open, frame, and strike sums up the first 3 frames here in this second match at the WIBC Queens.
And she wanted to thank, Ebonite and Carolyn Dorn-Ballard, who's a staff member for them, is in our truck right now doing stats. Carolyn's helped her a lot with layouts and deciding how to drill equipment. It's been very good for her game.
Down by 23 and comes up high and leaves herself once again with a pin count to deal with. 3-6-10 this time. This is the third time she's left 3 standing. In the first frame it was 1-2-4, and the second frame it was 6-7-10, and this time it is 3-6-10.
She's going to change balls. It appears lane 19 is breaking down a little bit on her. The conditioner's moving left a little, and she's going to have to make a move.
Get up. Gotta find it. Clears the deck here, and we are going to step aside. Did you know that the first casino on the river appeared in 1991? Now with the choice of 3 Mississippi Riverboat casinos, visitors can try their luck as they experience the river's magic. We'll be back. Second match, this is Karen Stroud with a 23-pin advantage. She is working on a spare. And that was very soft and light pin action.
Yeah, she sent that too far right, caught that strip of conditioner that Lisa Bishop is using as hold to her left. She caught it to her right, and the ball continued to slide. She's left the 2-10 here. She's going to try to hook the ball, it looks like, at it, and try and hit the left side of the 2-pin. No, it is her spare ball, I guess. She's still hooking it a little bit, though, at the 2-pin.
And 1 after 1. Didn't get it to kick over to the side, so she now has an open frame in the 7th, and that 23-pin lead dwindles down to 10.
Here was the first shot. Now she's setting this down in deep, about 30-35, but getting it right all the way to 10. She's only trying to get out to about the 14th, 15th board. It won't come back from there.
Just went too far.
And again, maybe a little inconsistency with that wrist also. Didn't quite catch it as good as she's been.
Now she's on 19. And once again, the 2 stays up.
Right. She's just not getting a real good aggressive shot off right now. The ball's sliding about 50 feet, 55 feet down the lane before it breaks into a roll. She needs to either, she could move right a little bit, get in, out of a little bit of the conditioner. She might move left. Actually, what seemed to work for a lot of players this week, playing where she is move her target left so she doesn't get right into that conditioner. It's the opposite of the lessons you've heard at home as far as moving on the lanes.
All of our bowlers today are right-handed. Lisa Bishop, we told you she was a Rookie of the Year in 1995. She was a member of Team USA. And she trails by 10, working on a spare. In 1995, she was a team member of the WIBC tournament record-setting team of Contour Power Grips. That winning team that set the record.
And missing right again. On lane 20, she's just not real consistent right now.
And there are Lisa's parents, Laura and Marion Bishop. And there's nothing like having family in the crowd to help you along, to settle your nerves, and it's a time for Mom and Dad to say, hey, ain't we done good?
Right, and Marion, her dad, is actually her coach. He's been her coach ever since she was young. And she attributes a lot of her success, most of it, really, to him.
Looks like she's got it. And she does. 2 spares for her. Jan had a chance to talk with Lisa before the competition began, and with tongue firmly implanted in cheek, she asked her, what's it like to be a veteran?
They asked me that question yesterday. I don't feel like a veteran, but I guess I've got the most time out here on tour so far. There's some great players out there. I just hope that I can just make the shots and knock down more pins than them and climb up that ladder. I'm really excited and going for a major, and this is what I've wanted for a very long time. So just going to go out there and do my best.
And she's doing very well right now. A 23-pin deficit has turned into a 14-pin deficit, 2 spares, and still she's not getting the pin action she wants.
No, and she's actually, it looks like she's just really not making real good shots because she's missing right on lane 20. She's missing left on lane 19. So she keeps compensating for what's happening. I think she needs to step back and look at each lane, just try
Separately.
to reline up on each lane separate, exactly. Sometimes you get caught up in that.
If she converts, and that could really prove to be a big difference here this day. With the pin action the ladies have been getting, we've only had between the two of them 3 strikes after about 11 frames of bowling when you combine them together. So it's going to be who can convert. And right now, Lisa Bishop's doing very, very well in that regard. All right, the max score for Karen Stroud is a 246 if she strikes out.
That was a better roll.
Came back high.
Looked like she cut her speed a little and try to get a little more roll on the ball. A lot of these players will make subtle moves with their hands, different release positions, so that they can create more roll. You can watch this ball. It's not sliding. See, it's going to start breaking into a roll right about here, which is probably about 5 to 10 feet sooner than the last ball she made. However, a little bit too high with that shot.
This will be an important spare for her.
Now she's just like Tennelle. This is her first Queen's appearance. I mean, first one she's entered. First Queen she's entered, and she makes the show. Both players. That was pretty amazing. I think they're going to like this event.
I think I keep it on my calendar. There you see the numbers. It's now 13 pins. As Karen Stroud now is on lane 19.
Karen also started bowling young, age 4. 2 hands, throw the ball down the lane. It's a good idea, though, as soon as your kids can throw with one hand, have them start doing it.
So she has a strike in the 7th frame. Now, if you want to learn something about barges and traffic control along the mighty Mississippi, well, you should go to the Visitor Center on the Lock and Dam number 15.
Greens fees, $116.
Working on a spare in the 7th frame, Lisa Bishop trails by 13.
You might think since she's the Rookie of the Year from last year that she would not want to make changes, but she has been working on some things. Coming up
10.
High.
That is the 3rd time she's left number 10.
Okay, she said, I heard her say, now it's breaking down over here too. So she's saying, I made a good shot that time. I believe lane 20 is starting to break down like 19. What I was saying is she's trying to slow herself down. She's changing her pitches, moving her thumb pitch forward so she can hold the ball better. And that's
ooh, jumped again. Oh, that's the 2nd time she's done that.
Well, she can't be too happy. You know, she looked like she was in control on that shot. She thinks it's going to hang on right here. Look at that. Sliding off. Bit of conditioner at the back end, or the lane might not be exactly level at the back end. There is little depressions in lanes.
There you can see she now has an open frame in the 7th as she moves over to 19. Came up a little high, but it gave her a much-needed strike at this point in the competition. She's frustrated. You can see it in her eyes.
Yeah, she made a move on that shot.
Now Karen Stroud's working on a strike. You know, Lisa Bishop only bowled her 2nd strike of the match with that shot.
And you can hear Lisa talking in the background. She's saying 2 to 10 pins. She's talking to herself. I think when Karen's up, we're hearing Lisa most of the time.
Karen's saying, I'm up by 25. Keep your head turned on straight.
Exactly. Focus on what I'm doing.
And now
don't look at that. Yeah, it's a tendency to watch, you know, if you see your opponent struggling, you may relax a little bit, lay back a little bit, saying, hey, okay, you know, I've got this in hand. It's important that you don't. And Karen's doing a good job of trying to stay focused, get the ball to the pocket, and pick up her spares.
And she converts. So only one open frame through 8 for Karen Stroud. And she's up by 25.
It's been a long haul at this point for Karen Stroud. You know, started bowling young, then bowled for West Texas A&M, and then in an automobile accident 3.5 years ago, severed tendons in her knee, had surgery, and did 10 months of rehab just to get back to bowling.
What determination, huh? And it was her left knee, which is so important, you know, so stressful to a right-handed bowler.
There's that ball sliding again. Neither player two lined up at this point in time. The lanes appear to be changing. Oil carrying down, moving around on the lane, and they're having to move with it. They're trying to make moves and get lined up, so whichever one of these players goes on from this match, hopefully I'll have, you know, the lanes will change enough that they'll have a good shot again.
Again, she converts. Her last 3 attempts have been strike, spare, spare, so Karen Stroud staying very focused in this match as Lisa Bishop steps up. She's working on a strike, and it's only her second strike of the match.
But she could still strike out for 199, which would then force Karen Stroud to double in the 10th. So she can't shut Karen out, but she can put herself in good shape.
And 10 again, giving her problems.
Okay, she's made a move left on the lanes. She's trying to play them a different way now. Pretty amazing for as good of a shot as she had that first game that they've changed that much, but they just start to hook a little bit, and you know you can't miss left, then you go to missing right. You make your bailout right, and she couldn't miss right either, so she was
holding my breath. Oh, good. Because I've seen her attempt this shot twice now, and it jumped. And look at the relief on her face.
See where she's moved to. Look where she's at. She's in around 25, setting the ball down, going out to about 15, 14, bringing it back. She's totally changed her line. And this is the spare that she's had trouble with. That time, look at, very aggressive with it, kept it on the lane.
And went much straighter at it.
Yeah, I think she was just losing that ball a little bit at her release, shooting at those 10 pins.
Well, that one came up right on the nose.
Yeah. She missed left. What she's trying to do here is a hard thing. She's gone from trying to point the ball now to try to open up. So you have to change her whole body angle. She was going up the lane. Now she has to open her shoulders and go right with the ball. And it's not easy to do. And though she is a veteran, remember, it's only her second year out here. So it's a tough thing. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for Lisa Bishop. But good tournament for her, and it got her back on track for the year. Like I said, only had made the first 2 cuts, missed the next 6. So she's very happy with this.
1995 Pan Am Games Team Silver. In the singles, she got a bronze. International experience, team experience, and ends on a positive note with a 167. Only her 3rd strike in this match. It was a rough going for Lisa Bishop, but she did have 1 victory. And now it is Karen Stroud who will move on. Ooh, oh my goodness. The 2-time collegiate All-America out of West Texas A&M. Gets some friendly pin action. A $6,000 check for Lisa Bishop for finishing 4th. And Karen Stroud, who is 3rd, will now go up against the number 2 bowler, Kendra Cameron. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we will fill you in on the Queen's Court and tell you how they finished right here in Davenport. Here are some of the top finishers, beginning with Michelle Feldman. She's the woman who first bowled 300 on TV.
Alita still in 9th to 12th place bracket. She loves this tournament. She's a 2-time Queen's champion and twice has been the runner-up here.
13th through 16th, Kim Adler, 4th in Huntsville, 4th in Sebring, 3rd at the U.S. Open, and then 4-time runner-up Carol Giannotti Perth finished in this group too.
Marianne DeRupo, we saw her last week. She was our champion.
Marianne DeRupo, our champion, and then Eleanor Rutledge, a collegiate All-American out of West Texas A&M, as is Karen Stroud. So West Texas A&M putting out the good talent. And here it is, Karen Stroud out of West Texas A&M a few years ago, going up against number 2 qualifier, Kendra Cameron. Our third match gets underway, the semifinals. Kendra Cameron and Karen Stroud are in our third semifinal match here at the WIBC Queens in Davenport, Iowa. Karen Stroud defeated Lisa Bishop 202 to 167 in our second match, and now faces the lady from Gambrels, Maryland.
Kendra Cameron is her roommate and is making this lady, Karen Stroud, start the match so that Karen will have to finish and have the pressure on her shoulders.
Oh! What did you say about pressure?
A little pressure applied to those pins. Kind of tripped the bucket there.
Kendra Cameron is a first-year pro. She won at Sebring from the second position. She finished 3rd in Huntsville from the second position, so she's very comfortable coming out of second. And she said, hey, anything you can do, Rumi, I can do better. Here's something interesting. Kendra Cameron bowled a three-game series of 654. She compliments herself on her good start. You can hear her through the microphone. She bowled a 654 in a 3-game series. Now, that's a good number. Bowled a 654 and lost, and that has to hurt. She lost to our reigning number 1 ranked person, Lynda Norry, in a tough battle, and now she wants revenge, but first she's got to get through Karen Stroud.
Uh-oh, hey.
She knew it the minute it left her hands. It was coming back.
All right, good too.
And just like Lisa Bishop, lane 19 hooking, going high for her. She's not quite as far right as Lisa, but she's playing right of center, playing around the 10th board.
And she said something interesting. She said, all right, get 2.
She's going to go for pin count. This is a spare not made very often by a right-hander, and she's going to just take the 2 pins. Important, especially since she's on a strike. This was her first shot. She's out about the 10th board, but the ball's going to hook left. Punch through the nose. No breaks here. .259, high game for Karen this week.
But on the low game side of that, the 148. Boy, is this gal lucky with those pin drops. The 148 that she bowled was against Lynda Norry. Not the time you want the low game when that gal's on the other line.
I don't think you ever want it, but at least in this event, it's a 3-game series, so you have a chance to come back. She's changing balls. She uses a plastic ball to shoot her spares, but still tries to hook it, so she gets a little hook out of it.
She gets the spare, and earlier Jan spoke with Karen Stroud and said, you know, if you beat your opponent in your first match, you'll have to play your roommate. How do you feel about that?
Actually, I want to bowl my roommate because that means I go up in the step ladder. I'm sure it's going to be a little nerve-wracking bowling a very close friend, but we talked about it last night, and we're cheering each other on, so it'll be fun.
I don't see a whole lot of cheering going on here, but the crowd loves it. Strike, spare, strike is how Karen Stroud is adjusted to these lanes.
That was different from what she told us last night. She told us she wanted to bowl anybody but this lady here, Kendra Cameron. She said Karen had said she'd rather bowl someone else, so she didn't have to worry with those feelings of wanting to root for a roommate.
An open frame in the second. This is the third. And it's strike for Cameron. She keeps the pressure on her roommate. Heck, they're not even looking at each other on the crossover.
No, they're not.
Cheering each other on.
In fact, Kendra said, it doesn't matter who I bowl. When I'm bowling, I'm bowling. I'm trying to knock the pins down. She has a lot of poise and a lot of confidence, and she can do that, separate the 2. I'm not sure if Karen can, although so far it appears she's doing a good job. She tried to get that ball farther right, actually hooked more. This is Steve Ryan, the CEO of Strike 10 Entertainment, doing great things to move bowling forward. Came all the way out from Connecticut to watch this event.
All right. And converts the spare there, and she seems pleased with that. And she did whisper a comment to Karen as she stepped up.
Karen's had a great year herself. It's her first year out here on tour, first year full-time. She's cashed in 8 out of 9 events and made 4 of the top 24 finals. So she's really pleased with the year she's had.
In addition to bowling, she likes to golf. As she shouts, "Come on." There you're looking at the president of the Professional Women's Bowling Association, John Falzone, and a happy birthday wish to him, although he didn't tell us exactly which birthday he was celebrating, but we know he's celebrating his birthday here at the WIBC Queens.
You know, they mentioned earlier it was 25, but I'm not sure if that was right. I don't know.
All right, a conversion in order, but not happening here on lane 20 for Karen Stroud, and she leaves an open frame off a strike in the third. 68 for her in the fourth now. And that makes this match all even.
Again, with that plastic ball, she rotates it, but it's not going to grab the lane and hook like your resin equipment would, and it slides past the 4-pin. Watch how close.
Ooh, oh, just doesn't get any closer than that. Oh, my. And that shot made things all even as she crosses over to 19 in the fifth.
She's not getting a good reaction out of that ball, not getting a consistent roll. I don't know if she could go to something that would maybe start up just a little bit sooner, because that ball's going too long on most of her shots, unless she really softens up and then she's on the nose. The 2-8-10, almost impossible to pick up unless you get a good break with a pin bouncing off the backboard or the sidewall.
This is her first Queens event ever. Ooh. And that slid off to the right. And she only gets 1, not the pin count she desired. So it's 76 for her in the fifth, and that gives Kendra Cameron plus 12.
Well, these two ladies roomed together. Also, Lynda Norry went in their room this week for a period of time, so it was a pretty popular room there. Allison Alming also rooms with them on tour, and she made the cut here but didn't make the show. Kendra Cameron knocked her out.
Good shot. Come on! Yeah! Off the spare, she gets the strike and went from being 12 down to being 12 up. This is Joyce Deitch. She is the WIBC president. That's the Women's International Bowling Congress's president. Great job she is doing for professional women's bowling.
Kendra can take a 22-pin lead here with a strike.
Come on, get it.
That sticky 10 that we saw plague Lisa Bishop now plagues Kendra Cameron. This is the third time number 10 has stayed up for her.
Well, she's been high twice on lane 19, so she made a move, and it hit half pocket, a little bit too much of a move, but you have to move quick. It's one game out there. She needs to make a move, and now she can go somewhere in between.
I've seen that before.
Shot. My lane's a little too long.
Boy, that hurts. An open frame in number 6, as you see this thing very early.
Just continuing to slide.
Davenport is home to the American Water Company. Like many major businesses in the Quad Cities region, art and aesthetics play an important part in their corporate image, as evidenced by this bronze sculpture that points to the historic Rock Island Arsenal. Kendra Cameron and Karen Stroud are in our third semifinal match here at the WIBC Queens in Davenport, Iowa. Karen Stroud defeated Lisa Bishop 202 to 167 in our second match, and now faces the lady from Gambrels, Maryland.
Kendra Cameron is her roommate and is making this lady, Karen Stroud, start the match so that Karen will have to finish and have the pressure on her shoulders.
What did you say about pressure?
A little pressure applied to those pins. Kind of tripped the bucket there.
Kendra Cameron is a first-year pro. She won at Sebring from the second position. She finished third in Huntsville from the second position, so she's very comfortable coming out of second. And she said, hey, anything you can do, Rumi, I can do better. Here's something interesting. Kendra Cameron bowled a three-game series of 654. She compliments herself on her good start. You can hear her through the microphone. She bowled a 654 in a three-game series. Now, that's a good number. Bowled a 654 and lost, and that has to hurt. She lost to our reigning #1 ranked person, Lynda Norry, in a tough battle, and now she wants revenge, but first she's got to get through Karen Stroud.
Uh-oh, hey.
She knew it the minute it left her hands. It was coming back.
That's right, good too.
And just like Lisa Bishop, lane 19 hooking, going high for her. She's not quite as far right as Lisa, but she's playing right of center, playing around the 10th board.
And she said something interesting. She said, all right, get two.
She's going to go for pin count. This is a spare not made very often by a right-hander, and she's going to just take the 2 pins. Important, especially since she's on a strike. This was her first shot. She's out about the 10th board, but the ball's going to hook left. Punch through the nose. No breaks here. .259, high game for Karen this week.
But on the low game side of that, the 148. Boy, is this gal lucky with those pin drops. The 148 that she bowled was against Lynda Norry. Not the time you want the low game when that gal's on the other line.
I don't think you ever want it, but at least in this event, it's a 3-game series, so you have a chance to come back. She's changing balls. She uses a plastic ball to shoot her spares, but still tries to hook it, so she gets a little hook out of it.
She gets the spare, and earlier Jan spoke with Karen Stroud and said, you know, if you beat your opponent in your first match, you'll have to play your roommate. How do you feel about that?
Actually, I want to bowl my roommate because that means I go up in the step ladder. I'm sure it's going to be a little nerve-wracking bowling a very close friend, but we talked about it last night, and we're cheering each other on, so it'll be fun.
I don't see a whole lot of cheering going on here, but the crowd loves it. Strike, spare, strike is how Karen Stroud is adjusted to these lanes.
That was different from what she told us last night. She told us she wanted to bowl anybody but this lady here, Kendra Cameron. She said Karen had said she'd rather bowl someone else, so she didn't have to worry with those feelings of wanting to root for a roommate.
An open frame in the second. This is the third. And it's strike for Cameron. She keeps the pressure on her roommate. Heck, they're not even looking at each other on the crossover.
No, they're not.
Cheering each other on.
In fact, Kendra said, it doesn't matter who I bowl. When I'm bowling, I'm bowling. I'm trying to knock the pins down. She has a lot of poise and a lot of confidence, and she can do that, separate the two. I'm not sure if Karen can, although so far it appears she's doing a good job. She tried to get that ball farther right, actually hooked more. This is Steve Ryan, the CEO of Strike 10 Entertainment, doing great things to move bowling forward. Came all the way out from Connecticut to watch this event.
All right. And converts the spare there, and she seems pleased with that. And she did whisper a comment to Karen as she stepped up.
Karen's had a great year herself. It's her first year out here on tour, first year full-time. She's cashed in 8 out of 9 events and made 4 of the top 24 finals. So she's really pleased with the year she's had.
In addition to bowling, she likes to golf. As she shouts, "Come on." There you're looking at the president of the Professional Women's Bowling Association, John Falzone, and a happy birthday wish to him, although he didn't tell us exactly which birthday he was celebrating, but we know he's celebrating his birthday here at the WIBC Queens.
You know, they mentioned earlier it was 25, but I'm not sure if that was right. I don't know.
All right, a conversion in order, but not happening here on lane 20 for Karen Stroud, and she leaves an open frame off a strike in the third. 68 for her in the fourth now. And that makes this match all even.
Again, with that plastic ball, she rotates it, but it's not going to grab the lane and hook like your resin equipment would, and it slides past the 4-pin. Watch how close.
Ooh, oh, it just doesn't get any closer than that. Oh, my. And that shot made things all even as she crosses over to 19 in the fifth.
she's not getting a good reaction out of that ball, not getting a consistent roll. I don't know if she could go to something that would maybe start up just a little bit sooner, because that ball's going too long on most of her shots unless she really softens up and then she's on the nose. The 2-8-10 almost impossible to pick up unless you get a good break with a pin bouncing off the backboard or the sidewall.
This is her first Queens event ever. Ooh, and that slid off to the right. And she only gets one, not the pin count she desired. So it's 76 for her in the fifth, and that gives Kendra Cameron plus 12.
Well, these two ladies roomed together. Also, Lynda Norry went in their room this week for a period of time, so it was a pretty popular room there. Allison Almang also rooms with them on tour, and she made the cut here but didn't make the show. Kendra Cameron knocked her out.
Good shot. Come on! Yeah! Off the spare, she gets the strike. And went from being 12 down to being 12 up. This is Joyce Deitch. She is the WIBC president. That's the Women's International Bowling Congress's president. Great job she is doing for professional women's bowling.
Kendra can take a 22-pin lead here with the strike.
Come on! Get it! That sticky 10 that we saw plague Lisa Bishop now plagues Kendra Cameron. This is the third time number 10 has stayed up for her.
Well, she's been high twice on lane 19, so she made a move, and it hit half pocket, a little bit too much of a move, but you have to move quick. It's one game out there. She needs to make a move, and now she can go somewhere in between.
I've seen that before.
Wow.
My lane's a little too long.
Boy, that hurts. An open frame in number 6, as you see this thing very early.
Just continuing to slide.
Davenport is home to the American Water Company. Like many major businesses in the Quad Cities region, art and aesthetics play an important part in their corporate image, as evidenced by this bronze sculpture that points to the historic Rock Island Arsenal. Opponents leave an open frame in the 6th, and that means this match is even as she wipes them out for her third strike of this match. Both ladies now posting 3 strikes through 6 frames.
She jumped all over this one. Good rotation. Watch the ball. It's going to start rolling up sooner. Right about here, start rotating over. Good hard break at the back end. That's something she wasn't getting earlier. Let's see if she can do it on 19, though. She's been having even more slide or skid on lane 19.
So that came up high.
Come on. Doesn't appear to have an in-between on that lane. Ball will either slide or hook with the slightest adjustment.
It's the third time number 4 has stayed up for her. She had a 4-7. Then she left 4 up by itself in the 4th frame. Then she had a 2-8-10 split. Now she's got a 4-6-7 split.
Now she'll go for pin count.
Kicked over to the right, almost. Almost. Hey, that's Jerry Tessman, past president of the ABC. And you're looking now at Roger Duncan, the executive director of the American Bowling Congress.
Everyone's on hand for the telecast today. It's great to see them all out. Now not getting the ball up on lane 20. It's so tough to be out there, and we talked about it. These players don't have the most amount of experience. She's going to try to make a trick shot, she's telling us. Using her spare ball. And straight up the lane.
And got the 2, 1 and 2, but no 10. So now from being up by 12, she now has a 1-pin advantage.
It appears if you're playing right, the way Kendra is, the way Lisa was, on lane 20 they have to go real direct or straight up the lane. On lane 19 they have to get left and open up to it. It's a hard thing to do from lane to lane, shot to shot. Didn't think it would hold. She was saying that's going through the face, meaning she thought it would jump the nose. Well, the conditions have been challenging the entire week. This wasn't one of the highest scoring pairs. In fact, it was one of the lower scoring pairs.
So now she's relieved that she converted the spare. The maximum that Karen Stroud can achieve is 194 if she punches out.
But she only trails by 1 pin at this point.
I know. It's 105 to 104 in the 7th frame. Although Cameron has a spare, let's see what Stroud can do. Well, she avoided a split, but...
Well, she's getting a better roll on the ball right now. I think she has a better picture. One of the things she does is try to visualize her shot to combat nerves. I'm sure she was seeing this ball roll just like this, but not quite as high onto the nose.
Now, this is the 3rd time she's left 4-7 alone, but this is the 1, 2, 3, 4th time she's left number 4. And the 3rd time she's left number 7. Gets the conversion as she did back in the 2nd frame when she left the 4-7 split. So like Kendra Cameron, both women have a spare in the 8th frame after an open 7th.
Well, Kendra's just trying, Karen right now is just trying to stay within her own game and make her shots. I don't even think the players are nervous at this point because they're lost. Yeah. You know, when you're lost on the lane, there's nothing to get nervous about. You don't even know how to make a good shot because you don't know where to move.
No chance when you throw it like that.
Well, that time she wasn't happy with her delivery.
No. And again, didn't get the good roll on the ball. And she's been rather inconsistent with that on this telecast, but the nerves come into play. She said she was nervous yesterday, nervous going into today, and was just trying to see her ball, see the good ball roll, see the path her ball's going to take in her head before she'd make her shot. But
do you think it would help if we turned off the TV cameras? I don't know if ESPN would like that, but might settle everybody down. And the smart thing to do is go for that pin count.
Well, maybe they should cheer each other on. Maybe it would help.
Yeah. So it's a plus 15 for Kendra Cameron in the 9th frame. She is working on a spare. Got a hook. Got to come back, and it didn't. The ball just isn't coming back down there.
On lane 20, exactly. And it's opposite for both these players because they're playing 2 different lines. Kendra gets the skid on 20. Karen gets the skid on lane 19. She leaked this ball right all the way out to about the 5th board. It's not going to come back.
Come on.
Now there's a big difference because she now has a spare in the 9th where Karen Stroud left it open.
Go.
Well, she can strike out for 172, 12-pin lead. She can shut out Karen Stroud. The best Karen can shoot is 160. So she really needs 9 spare strike or strike spare.
Came back high. If it doesn't fall, she's got a split, and it didn't fall.
I have this lane.
She loves that lane, and don't forget, it was her choice.
Do we detect an error?
She chose to finish on that lane.
That's right. Think she'll do that next time if she? Well, she doesn't.
Gets the next
because Lynda
time.
Norry will get the choice if she advances.
Go. Let's get 2.
Again, going for pin count.
She's going for 2. Wow. I'm not sure what I would do at this point. I'd probably go for the spare.
So leaving it open, she clocks out at 148.
Karen's going to need a mark and 9 pins to win the game. So I can see where pin count was important, but well, I don't know. That's a choice you have to make out there, and you have to make it quick. Like I said, that spare wasn't picked up too often by the professionals, so she chose to go for the 2, that being Kendra.
Come on.
This is called winning ugly. My goodness. My goodness. This poor lady hasn't bowled a strike since the 3rd frame. Well, since the 6th frame. She had one in the 1st, the 3rd, and the 6th.
They were all excited to be making this telecast. I'm not sure how they'd feel if I jumped on there and interview them right now.
I hear you.
She's going to try to take all 3 pins with the ball. She's gone to a spare ball that'll slide. needs the spare.
And we've seen funny things happen down in this right-hand corner, but she converts there. Now pin counts. Oh, boy.
Well, after seeing that 7 count, maybe Kendra made the right choice in going for the 2 pins. Look at this. The 10 pin almost stood. The ball looked like it was in perfect position, but it almost drove through past the 10.
3 times we have seen her bowl 7 on her first shot. That is what Kendra Cameron needs to have happen right now.
She needs 8 to tie here.
But Kendra Cameron's hoping for a 7 again. And strikes! And strikes! Whoa!
Brooklyn didn't trust it, but she needed to hit the head pin. Bottom line, you need 9 pins, you better hit the head pin.
Oh my goodness, what a finish. A strike to close things out for Karen Stroud as she shuts the door on Kendra Cameron. We'll have more from the 1998 WIBC Queens in Davenport, Iowa after these important messages. Back to Davenport, Iowa. It is time for the AMF Championship Frame. Things began with Lisa Bishop defeating Tennelle Grijalva 244-205, and then Karen Stroud eliminated Bishop 202-167. Stroud then ousted number 2 qualifier Kendra Cameron 150-148, and then she faced unbeaten top qualifier Lynda Norry.
In the first championship match, she started strong, striking here in the 5th frame. She'll move over to lane 20, working on 3 strikes now. Throws yet another one. It was enough to defeat Lynda Norry, who threw only 3 strikes the entire match. Final score 212-190, but there's no queen yet. Lynda Norry gets a second chance because of the double elimination format.
So both women each have 1 loss, ironically, to each other. And this championship match beginning right now is a single elimination format because whoever loses is gone and we crown a queen. And we'll find out who that queen is right after this.
The internet.
This is it, the 1998 WIBC Queens Championship match. This is Lynda Norry, 30 years old, out of Wichita, Kansas. She is our top qualifier. She has now suffered just 1 defeat. That was in the pre-championship match to Karen Stroud. So our top amateur, our top qualifier, now has the pressure on her.
And she's playing the same line as last game, but she's using a different ball. She's changed balls. She went over to the practice pair, tried to line up with something different, leaving the 10 pin, but a good shot into the pocket. Ironically, she had no pressure on her the first game, could do whatever she wanted. And now it's kind of turned the tables because Karen Stroud may have the edge here because she won that first match between the 2 of them.
And Karen Stroud, coming out of the number 3 position, has certainly had a lot of experience on this 19 and 20 pair here at Miller Time Lanes. Big sigh from Karen Stroud. She knows it's not easy. There you see the score in championship match 1, 212-190. And it's interesting, in the match play earlier in the competition, she faced Lynda Norry and lost. Now, she could have lost to anybody and ended up coming out, but it happened to be to Lynda Norry.
Well, she starts off strong, and Lynda switched this around. Lynda choosing to start this match will now finish last and finish on lane 20. Lynda had a lot of trouble on 19. I think she's choosing that because of the better lane for her. So Karen will now finish first, but on lane 19.
And she wants to control her own destiny at the finish. You know, it's funny, her lowest game in match play was a 148. That was against Lynda Norry very, very early in the competition. And then she went around and defeated Kendra Cameron with a 150. So sometimes a 148's a bad thing, and sometimes it can be a good thing.
It can be.
So it's 2 in a row for Karen Stroud as Lynda Norry steps up. Look at that Team USA list for her, 89 through 92 and 96 through 98. Loves the team competition, said because when she bowls, everybody's happy when we win. The bad thing about being a pro is when you win, everybody else loses, and it's kind of sad to turn around. You're so happy and they're so sad.
Yeah, well, she's not real happy right now either, but she's striking, well, hitting the pocket, wishing she was striking, leaving 10 pins. But at least with this ball, she's in the pocket. I think she'll start to carry. She'll make subtle changes on her roll to get it to carry.
So it's 2 spares versus 2 strikes to open things up in this final championship match of the 1998 WIBC Queens.
Well, as much as she loves, and she's going to change balls again. She's going to a different ball. She's going to try to kick those 10s out. She realizes she only has 8 frames left out of the 2 games she had to start with. But she is going to probably discontinue Team USA play next year, and she's going to come out on the professional tour.
And the green ball does the trick as she knocks them all down on lane 19 for her first strike of this final championship match.
She was noting the time when she came off the approach there. All right, finally got a strike. Karen Stroud, no coaching for this lady. She lets her peers help her. She said Regina Lovall did mental coaching for her, and she learns by watching. And Kathy Dorn, Tammy Turner, and Hank Boomershine have helped her quite a bit throughout college bowling and out here on tour.
You mentioned Kathy Doran helping her out. Kathy Doran right now is helping us out. She is our scorekeeper, our statistician in the booth. And oh, there's Kathy saying hi to Mom. Her sister Carolyn, whom you can't see because she's in the production truck, is helping out with the scores and stats off camera, as we'll say, now that Kathy's gotten her 15 seconds of fame. So a big thank you to the Doran family, and I should say Carolyn Doran Ballard.
Yes, Del would appreciate it.
Yes, he would. Goes for a pin count again. Almost got the conversion.
Ooh, she went for that spare, though. This is her first shot. She's been aggressive inside a target there, though. Look at, never really right of the head pin. Only got to about 17, which is just the pocket area, and the ball finished just a little bit onto the nose. She went for the spare, though. This is an easier spare for the right-hander than the 4-7-10 because you can hook into the 6 pin and let it slide across.
It was close.
Just hit the 6 pin a little too full.
That one came back high, spinning around, but it didn't come back forward.
And again, it looks like at the line she's a little bent over. She's cutting it a little short, not following through aggressively like she was earlier. When she does that, she's not projecting it right.
There you see her high and low games. Remember that low game was against Lynda Norry very early in match play. If you're just joining us, this is the WIBC Queens. We had 410 women begin this week bowling a block and then having to qualify. The top 64 make it in. Well, 63 plus last year's defending champion. And then you go into match play. And scores like 150 are good enough sometimes if you're lucky enough to get an opponent who bowls less than that. So it's 2 strikes for Lynda Norry in the 3rd and 4th.
Now it's time for Dexter footwork of the pros as well as future pros. Lynda Norry, a 5-step approach, classic style. Watch, she's going to start very small, steps very small. They're going to increase as she goes. Pushing here on her power step into a long slide. Good classic footwork, good ball change here, combination. Great shot.
After 2 spares, it is 2 strikes and a 25-pin edge for Lynda Norry. And she loves the state of Iowa. In 1991, she entered the Queens when it was held in Cedar Rapids, and she finished 5th in that one. And it's turkey time.
And that right there will tell you the difference that a ball will make. She missed right on that shot. She hung it off about the 1-2 board. This was not a good shot. Earlier, it wouldn't have gotten up. Look at this, going right still, about the 2 board or so, but it's going to finish. That's the difference a ball will make in getting the right ball in your hand that's going to break at the right point on the lane.
Karen Stroud now trails by 35. And that one just never came back early enough. If the lane was a little longer.
Yeah, ball slid quite a bit. I just think she's been a bit inconsistent. I said that before, again with speed, with release there. But when it's a touchy, when you don't have a good shot, it's very hard to be relaxed and make consistent shots.
I really thought she had it too, and she opened with the 2 strikes. Oh, somebody moved in the crowd.
Somebody walked out on the approach, and she saw it. Wise to stop there and get her focus back because she can pick this spare.
And now that person who moved in the crowd is crawling away.
She's going to hit the left side of the head pin here, or try to with the ball. The ball will take out the 2 and the 4, and the head pin will go over and take out the 10.
Didn't quite work the way she wanted. 10-pin stays.
That was a good shot. It was so close. I mean, about 1/4 of an inch more to the left. If she would have gotten a little reaction out of the ball, she would have picked that up.
So after 2 strikes, she now has 3 open frames and is bowling a 73 in the 5th.
But we're only halfway through the match. We'll see what can happen.
Oh, the 10s are rocking but not dropping.
She made a good shot there, though.
Karen.
Good roll on that ball. Ball hit pretty good, just soft 10, but she's going to try to keep converting the spare, stay as close as she can.
And she converts a spare for the first time in 4 frames. As your eyes feast on a beautiful Quad Cities sunset, here's a trick question. Can you name the Quad Cities? Remember, it's a trick question. Good luck. Steps up on number 20, right into the pocket and clears the deck.
Wow, she has a great reaction with that ball. And all of a sudden, from having nothing, she has a lot of room on the lane. She can miss right, she can miss left. That's how the game has changed, Leandra, so much. And equipment is the name of the game.
So you don't have to practice? It's just equipment?
Well,
teasing you.
Don't say that on the air. Please practice. My partner's not a real bowler. She doesn't bowl professionally. Practice.
Oh, that was a nice drop, so she avoids the split.
And as I said, she could miss left. Missed a little too far left. Almost getting over Brooklyn, though, on the head pin. 3-10 standing. 6-pin off the wall, taking out the 10, so she has an easy spare to convert.
Look at her moving it with her hand.
She wanted the 10-pin out of there.
And now she got the 3-pin out of there. So on the 4 strikes, she puts a spare, and she has marked in every frame. Karen Stroud, meanwhile, is working on a spare in the 6th after 3 open frames.
Well, she has to start here. She's almost in a must-strike situation. Only 4 frames left, 55 pins to pick up.
Come on.
Came back high, but at least the right side dropped.
Not a chance, she's saying. She moved left more, but probably hoping to find a little bit of skid, a little bit of bump, we call it, where the ball will slide down the lane, but she didn't find it.
And she converts on 20 to put back spares together. Lynda Norry and Karen Stroud are now in the 8th frame. Both ladies working on a spare. It is a 57-pin deficit for Karen Stroud as she steps up on lane 19. After 3 open frames, she bowled 2 spares. Let's see what she can do here. And she gets her 3rd strike of this championship match.
There's a great shot, but Lynda Norry has things pretty much well in control here. As she wanted to mention, she's been having a lot of wrist problems. She worked with Cam Clark, an athletic trainer in Via Christi Regional Medical Center in Wichita, and he really got her in shape to come out and bowl this event this week.
Did she say she was going to split the check with him?
I missed that part.
Oh, okay. And she missed the 10. You know, we talked to her about who influenced her game. And she said, you know, obviously Mom taught her how to bowl early on. And then she worked with Pat Rossler, then Kim Kennedy and Fred Borden, Pat Henry, and of course Pat Dugan, who is here now. And all these people helped her out in her game at different points in her life.
They did. Also Gordon Vatican, Jerry Edwards, a lot of coaching. This lady, contrary to Karen, has had so much coaching.
And there's the Dugan family. She mentioned Pat Dugan on the left. That's Anne-Marie Dugan on the right, a member of the PWBA here at the Queens. And Pat Dugan, a ball rep here and helping Lynda Norry out with her equipment.
He's a rep for Storm Products, and Lynda Norry's on their staff.
maximum score for Lynda Norry, working off the spare in the 8th. It's 247. Oh, that tumbled gently. Oh, look at her. Thank you. Thank you.
And that was huge because that pretty much closed the door on Karen Stroud. She'll just need Lynda when she comes back up in the 10th, even if Karen were to strike out, will only need a few pins. That was a big shot.
So after defeating Karen Stroud defeating Lynda Norry 212 to 190, she wasn't able to put it together back to back. And this is a double elimination tournament, and this will mark her second loss. And it jumped off. How many times have we seen it? Is that the third or the fourth time in this tournament?
Fourth, I believe, on lane 20. All on lane 20. Yeah. Maybe one of them on 19, but the ball just continues to slide right. Never bites the lane at the back end to take out the 10 pin.
Boy, that hurts.
Well, disappointing for Karen, but actually a good showing. Coming through the field here.
And not a bad second place check there, $10,000. Leaves that stubborn 10.
Just couldn't quite get it done. And you know, it wasn't too long ago, about 3 years ago, when the top seed in the Queens did not get a second chance. If they lose the first one, they were out. And so a few years back, had the same situation occurred, Karen Stroud would be the queen. But they changed it because it is double elimination, and it is right that the top seed gets to lose twice.
Chance to lose.
Right.
Should get one loss. So Karen Stroud will get one of her lowest scores of the tournament, but as she defeated Kendra Cameron with a 150 to a 148. But then she roared back with a 212 to beat Lynda Norry in their first meeting. And now she slipped away again.
Well, she says she's shy, but easy to get along with. She was pretty aggressive out there today.
So it's a 157 for Karen Stroud. No, she's working on a strike in the 9th. And Lynda Norry, it's all resolved. $20,000 to her as she has defeated Karen Stroud. We'll be back to recap all the action. But first, these important messages. Queens is being brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owners and operators of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by Dexter, the most advanced bowling shoes to ever step on a lane. Dexter, the choice of the pros. And there is your 1998 WIBC queen, Lynda Norry, who stormed back from a victory, defeat in the first match, but came back in the second match and won it all. Congratulations, Lynda. And now with the presentation is Joyce Deitch, the president of the WIBC.
Oh, Lynda, we're so pleased for you. We have this wonderful trophy for you to have in your home and this lovely pendant for you to remember this day. Just get it together.
Maybe.
Come on. Ah. Now here.
There you go.
There you go.
And now Roseanne Kuhn, who is the executive director of the WIBC.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And now for the check presentation, Tim Dooley, Special Events Manager of AMF.
On behalf of AMF Bowling, we'd like to congratulate you on your win and present you with a check worth $20,000. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Women's International Bowling Congress, AMF, Miller Time, all the great people of Iowa, my own corporate sponsors. It's been a great week.
Good job. Great job. And that's it. Our 1998 champion has been crowned for Jan Schmidt. I'm Leandra Riley. Congratulations to all of the bowlers who took part in the WIBC Queens. A reminder that next week it is the St. Clair Classic in Fairview Heights, Illinois. Be sure to join us and be sure to watch it on ESPN. And this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.